Hello and welcome to Tax Advisor and Biz Coach Success Weekly Podcast. The purpose of this episodes is to help entrepreneurs to become more successful and avoid tax headaches. I am your host, Liz Soria, and I specialize in tax advisory and business coaching. Let's get started with episode 7. Let's discuss about online sales tax. That is a hot topic. And why is that? Because many of you who are listening to this podcast, you're probably selling online, e commerce business. Now, in these days, everybody enjoys purchasing online. It's convenient, it saves them money, and gas. They don't have to be traveling anywhere. Um, Usually, they get a great deal for it. Most of the times when we purchase online, we're really getting a good 20 to 30% discount um, versus to even going physically to a retail store. And then on top of that, they might be giving us also free shipping, right? So I have quite a few clients who are in the e-commerce business. And some of these clients, they're actually Amazon and eBay sellers. And this is a type of business that a lot of people are getting into. There's clients where they still might have, their full-time jobs and this is just a side business. Others have dedicated 100% and this is what has become their, business model. So many times what I get questioned about is, Liz, should I really collect on online sales tax? The truth is, yes, you should. And the reason behind that, because even though there is no mandatory federal online sales tax, each state wants to collect their percentage. The majority of states vary between, I would say, roughly maybe about 5 to 8%, depending on the state that you're selling to. So it's not only the state that your home base business is located that you need to collect on those sales, but it's also where you have a strong presence in that other states. So let's say for an example that you are in California. And if I'm not mistaken, they have one of probably the highest, sales tax rate right there. And you're collecting all the sales tax of all the sales that you're doing. But now you people buying online, right? They're buying your products. Now you're selling to Texas, you're selling maybe to, Ohio, you're selling to New York, you're selling, right? So if you have a strong presence and you're selling to those states, or even if you have a warehouse, that's right, a warehouse, or even employees or independent contractors that work in your behalf, that's considered presence on that state. Even though your office might be located, in LA or, San Francisco or, Santa Fe, wherever it is in the state of California, it's still considered that you're doing business with that state. So you have a responsibility to collect that sales tax. And I have noticed that a lot of the states are becoming a little bit tougher and going after their tax, right? Because there's been so many cutbacks for some of the states, so now they're becoming a little more aggressive and they're going after, businesses and saying we want, our sales tax. You need to collect it, okay? So the reality, that's what it's called nexus, by the way. So if you ever heard the word nexus, it has to do with the presence of that type of sales tax within that state. So, I have clients, like I said, selling on Amazon and eBay, and they, have the impression that Well, nobody pays sales tax online. Why should I make my customers pay? Well, because it's just a matter of time where the more promotions you do to your products or even your services, the sooner the state is going to find out that you are in business and you're making a profit, and therefore they want their share. And like I said, I've seen it with these type of clients in e-commerce. And when they come really hard. They're you need to know that if you're in doubt that you're not collecting it, all right, the sales tax, then you know what? Just set it up with the state. Now in these days, there's so many softwares, or if you need assistance of someone who has experience into collecting sales tax, definitely that's something that there's many accountants that can help you with that. And just make sure you collect the sales tax. It's going to be less future headaches. And the truth is, if they do get you, what's going to happen is you're going to end up paying a lot more in interest with the state. And possibly, they can buy you from not selling that state. They can come back and say, no, you can't until we receive all the past you know taxes due. So it's not worth it. And I say this to e-commerce businesses too, where they're they think, well, I'm not going to get caught because it hasn't happened to now. But again, as I mentioned a little earlier, states are hurting, and all they need is to hire a few more people, and they can really find out. Remember, we are online, so they can do their own research. The same way customers can find you, they can find you too. Think about that for a moment. And it's very easy for them to, you can have a state tax examiner that can visit you today, tomorrow, next week. I mean, will you feel confident that you can, that you have been charging that sales tax? Or you can tell, the examiner, no, we haven't. We've been selling online. So again, I really strongly recommend that if you have a strong presence on a specific states, that you have a large volume in sales, by all means, go ahead and do yourself a favor and start collecting. There's, like I said, you can get, tax professionals or, accountants to help you in the process to set up with each state. In that way, it becomes sort of like an automated thing where as you're doing the sale, it's collecting the tax and submitting it to the state. So once again, this is Liz Surya, and I am your host at the Tax Advisor and Business Coach Success Podcast. You can get in touch with me directly through the profile. It has my contact information. And please share my link with other friends or even other business owners that you might think that can benefit from listening to my podcast. Thank you so much.